Welcome aboard the News Belt. In our first story, Democracy Hub, organizers of the Stop Galamsey Now and Reoccupy Julobi House protests are demanding the immediate release of an 8-year-old girl and 15 others who say they are currently in police custody. Now, more than 10 protesters have been arrested following a scuffle with the police. Attempts by the demonstrators to continue day 2 of their protest at the 37 roundabout were thwarted by the police. Let's listen to some of the frustrated protesters after their arrests.
Article 12 and 13 of the Convention on Children's Rights. Article 12, which is on the respect for children's views, states that every child has the right to express their views on matters that affect them, and for these views to be taken into consideration. So if our water bodies are being destroyed and these children come out to join a protest to express these, is it a crime for which they should be arrested? This is question for the authorities to answer. Question for the police service to answer, to respond to. Article 13, which is on the freedom of expression, states that every child has the right to find out and distribute information and to express their ideas through talking, writing, art, and any other form of expression. Is it a crime for these children to express themselves in these forms? It is for our authorities. We have seen the police trying to play PR on all that is happening, releasing press statements upon press statements. We will want them to address one of these, if they want to, in one of the statements. And in one of those statements, they have indicated that they are looking for Oliver, that he's on the run. Oliver is not on the run. Oliver is here. If they want, they will see him. We are actually ready with our lawyers to come with him to wherever they will designate us to present him. But there is a caveat that they will release these children. These children are innocent. They don't have any problem with the state. They were only expressing their fundamental human rights.
You say these children, how many children were arrested?
It is two of them. It is 2 of them, but one has been released. So we're left with 1 of them actually. But the very fact that these 2 were picked up is very, very improper.
And what's the update on the others who were arrested?
We have no idea where the other child is as we speak now. The police has refused to even disclose where they are being kept, for whatever reason best known to themselves. So if they release these children, we are happy to come with our lawyers, with Oliver, to wherever they will designate to us.
Now, the convener for Fix the Country movement and member of Democracy Hub, Oliver Barker-Vomawo, was rushed to the Joy FM premises to seek refuge after he fled from the protest grounds.
As many Ghanaians would have seen today, the police have descended upon demonstrators at the grounds, persons who have been demonstrating from yesterday peacefully. The police have refused to engage with us and now have set upon, first of all, they've towed away our public address systems and they've set themselves upon the protesters, brutalizing and arresting. And in particular, in my case, several hundred of them tried to arrest me and I was able to get away and come to the studios of Joy on a motorbike.
Why this sudden change of approach?
We don't know. Since morning, we wrote a letter to the Ghana Police Service, particularly because when we woke up, they had released a statement at 3 a.m. signaling their intention to use force against protesters. We replied to the press statement they issued and wrote an urgent letter. We called the Greater Accra Regional Police Commander, Ahin. We called the Greater Accra Police Regional Lawyer, Bani. We have written to the Inspector General of Police. We've demanded an urgent meeting at 10 a.m. They reverted to say that they are not interested in dialogue at this point. So at this point, the institution itself is not interested in a conversation with organizers in order to ensure that the demonstration continues to proceed peacefully. Now, we don't know where this change in approach and direction is coming from. They have shown every deal with the conversation around stopping galamsey and creating accountability around that. And we're using this medium. The reason why I've come to Joy straight from the grounds is that we're using this medium to appeal to all those civil society organizations, and there are several hundreds of them that have released statements calling for urgent action on this issue. This is not a fix the country fight. This is not a few young people's fight. This is for all of us. And it is not enough to continue to sit and use the same old discarded approaches. Writing letters do not work. We must engage seriously in the process of mobilizing young people, mobilizing our community to become participants in the conversation. We cannot take an elite-driven approach to this issue. Every Ghanaian must feel implicated and involved in order to stand forth and speak forth. Now, we are taking this approach in order to ensure that many young people can also show that in addition to the written approaches, there must be an integrated, a more sustainable, and a community-driven approach in bringing everybody behind this call. So it is not enough to segregate ourselves into various caucuses. And if it's an individual or with anybody else we are organizing with, remember that the environment is not my responsibility or those of us who are standing here. It is all of us our responsibility. And so if we say we care about this, we cannot sit aloof and watch as young people are being brutalized by our Ghana Police Service. Individuals who have failed us in the fight against stopping our waters being poisoned. I do not understand how many more audios, how many more documentaries Joy has to produce for us to draw attention to this issue. It is not enough anymore to sit on the sidelines. We must speak and we must engage this issue now.
So are you saying that despite the police, changing approach, the demonstration is still ongoing? Our
resolve is that the demonstration is going to continue. And if they continue to frustrate us, we will go beyond the 3 days that we notify them of. Because this is not an issue where we are going to sit silent and watch our water bodies being destroyed, while people continue to mine in forest reserves. This is not the Ghana we envisage in this project. This is not what our fathers dreamed of. And it's our responsibility not to let them down. This is why we must speak up.
Now, the running mate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, has called on the National Union of Ghana Students to use their collective voice to push for policies that promote sustainable mining and protect Ghana's natural resources. Addressing the union at its 58th Annual Congress in Kumasi, Dr. Prempeh emphasized the need for students to hold politicians accountable for their actions. Nana Boachi Adam has more in this report.
The National Union of Ghana Students held its 58th Congress at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh addressed the gathering. In his keynote speech, the former Minister of Education lamented the devastating effects of illegal mining on Ghana's environment, economy, and communities. Stressing on the destruction of water bodies, he called for a more collaborative efforts from all stakeholders, including government, civil society, and student unions.
One of the most topical conversations as we head into the 2024 elections, whether you like it or not, the preacher man said it, or one of the speakers said it. It's galamsey. NUGS, we should hear from NUGS. You must have an enlightened position on it. Like I told the men's fellowship, as politicians, no politician will come up with a policy that will let him lose the votes of the people he wants to represent. After all, like my good friend Trump says, he doesn't like martyrs because they are dead. You should succeed in your advocacy. MPP should rebirth itself through Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to continue those policies that will benefit all. As long as we all have the feeling, as long as the last tree dies, the last man dies. We believe that. If we believe that, and we believe that water is life, I'm not against mining. I'm 100% pro-mining. God gave the gold for us to use it to enhance our value, our lives. But the gold, God put it down there. And God wants us to use the gold to enhance our lives. So then we have to have responsible mining.
According to Dr. Opoku Prempeh, NUGS must call on politicians to sign a pact which will hold them accountable for their actions.
Union leaders have come on board, CSOs have come on board, NUGS should not stay. But let us publicly, just like we do a peace agreement here during elections, let all the political parties come up and sign that we all don't want galamsey, so that nobody can go and take advantage anywhere else. So that one person will not come and sign, President, I've signed, Then the person who wants to take the president out of the office goes around the country and say, hey, of course, he will win the vote.
The 58th Congress of NUGS brought together students from various tertiary institutions across Ghana to discuss pressing national issues and chart a course for the country's development. Chairman Opon Daniel is president of NUGS.
For education is politicized. If you don't have a proper plan for education, trust me, there will not be any future for us as young people, as we say in the popular session that the future belongs to the youth. It will never belong to us if not a clear roadmap when it comes to education. And I want to assure all of you, we continuously sit back, and when we are supposed to contribute our sharp ideas, because always tokenism is too much. We feel the young ones, when you are brought to the table, you have nothing good to offer. Please, young ones, success only comes when preparation meets opportunity. Until you realize you are an ego, you continue to dine with the chicks on the ground. Okay. We are ego, but we don't know we are egos. We are still dining on the grounds. Let us prove a point to the world that we are capable, and the young leaders will bring us up. They will add us to their campaigns, they will add us to their ministries, and then we'll contribute our ideas in making sure Ghana becomes better.
For Joy News, Nana Boache Dankwe Yadom, Kumasi.
Well, on our next story, the journey to Nkrumah First Memorial Day is observed to honor Ghana's first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Now, NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama reaffirmed his commitment to restoring Dr. Nkrumah's rightful place in Ghana's history. Speaking as the special guest, Mr. Mahama emphasized the need to correct distortions in Ghana's history and honor Nkrumah's legacy.
Nkrumah's legacy extends far beyond only infrastructure. His ideals of African unity, social justice, and economic independence are still pillars that guide progressive forces and thought across the African continent. Today, we are reminded with deep sadness that the work Nkrumah started is not completed. The future Nkrumah envisioned, a prosperous, united Africa free from exploitation, still calls progressives across this continent to action. The liberation struggle is not over yet. Mr. Chairman, Nana Chairman, my brothers and sisters, history cannot be revised. No matter how you fill our children's textbooks with different versions of your history, Founders Day must be a day that recognizes Nkrumah, the leader who delivered independence to Ghana and whose vision was continental in scope. The next NDC government, inshallah, in January 2025, will seek to remove the distortions in our history and restore Kwame Nkrumah to his rightful place in the history of Ghana.
Meanwhile, the chief of Nkrofo, Nana Kwesi Kutua V, made an appeal to the NDC flag bearer to prioritize the Elembele district if he became president.
Myself, is Enzima really part of Ghana? Now, this is a district which possesses our oil, but the road network linking Samene to Hafasni is in a deplorable state. Now, the road network from Telekubukazo to Takwa Junction is in deplorable state. His Excellency, we are appealing to you. Enzima deserve better. We deserve better. We need good roads. We need hospitals. As I'm talking to you, Nkrofo as the birthplace of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah cannot boast of a modern hospital. Don't we deserve a modern hospital? Don't we deserve a modern hospital in Nkrofo? We do deserve a modern hospital. Because this man has really fought very hard for our independence.
And that's how we cap off the news this holiday morning. But do stay with us. The news review is right up next. We'll be right back.